morning to all of you. Let us start the next topic for revision work. Electric flux. Though you already explained, but once again we are going to revise it. Electric flux delta phi through an area delta S is, it is directly proportional to the electric field strength, the area through which the field lines are passing, and the cosine of the inclination of the area vector with electric field or the area vector with a normal area to the field. That is theta. You better know what is theta from the previous section, what we have learned till now. So that is delta phi is E delta S cos theta, and that can be written a dot product of electric field and area vector. That area vector is normal to the planar area. That is what is shown for this area delta S. It can also be written as the proportional to the electric flux is proportional to number of field lines cutting an area element. It is proportional to field lines. It depends on how many lines we are drawing here, and that is why we are writing proportional to number of field lines cutting the area element. If this area is very small or negligibly small, then you can say delta S tending to 0. Then this can be written as d phi, and this delta S is changing to ds, and so d phi is E dot del ds. Total flux through whole area is simply the integration over the surface, and that is called the surface integral of electric field over the surface. This whole section is called surface integral of the electric field over this surface, that is S. That is what we have. There are some special cases of it, so that is what we are going to discuss. Now the special cases, when flux phi is positive, phi positive means that E delta dA delta S cos theta has to be positive. E and delta S are the magnitude, so these two will always be positive, so cos theta has to be positive, and then theta will be open interval minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2, and that is shown in the, it is making an angle plus pi by 2 anti-clockwise or clockwise pi by 2. In the second case, if flux is negative, then in that case cos theta will be negative and theta will be in second quadrant and third quadrant. It means the field lines are going inside, and what was significance in first case, when phi positive, field lines are coming out. So positive field lines, positive flux means field lines are coming out, negative flux means field lines are going inside the surface. Phi 0, what is phi 0? The value cos theta 0, theta having two values, it means field lines are tangent to the surface, or this is the surface what we have. So in all the cases, the three, flux positive, field lines are coming out, flux negative, field lines are going in, flux 0 means it is tangential to the surface. Next part is phi equal to E dot ds, or it is proportional number of field lines, so it is a scalar quantity. As far as nature is concerned, it is scalar. If you are going for the unit, it is already explained. Flux phi equal to E dot ds, E is Newton per coulomb, S is meter square, so SI unit is Newton meter square per coulomb. Third, it can also be voltmeter. Region, electric field equal to minus dV of dr. So from here, this is volt per meter, and area meter square. So these two after multiplication giving us voltmeter. That is the unit of electric flux as well. As per dimension formula is concerned, it is 12.3 T minus 3 A minus 1. If you find out electric field, that is force per unit charge, and area, that is meter square, you know it. So these three things you must know for in determination of these. So the flux is surface integral of electric field. If it is surface, it is integral E dot ds for the surface S. For closed surface, it is the closed integral for closed surface. You know it, the closed surface somewhat like this. The area vector at any point is, say this is ds, and electric field at in any direction, say this is the electric field, Theta is the angle between the two. Accordingly, for four surface, it is going to determine. Here, one thing should be taken care of while taking care of solving the number ds, or E into S into cos theta. This theta is the angle between electric field and area vector, not the planar area. If this is the planar area and area vector, then area vector in this direction. So with this area, suppose in this case, this is the electric field and theta is the angle between electric field and area vector. If you are taking electric field and planar area, then this angle will be 90 minus theta. So if theta is 60 degree, and 90 minus theta is 30 degree. So that is what you have to take care. In cos theta, if you are taking instead of theta, that is 60 degree, if you will take 30 degree, then the question will be wrong as far as assumption is concerned. So you just check whether theta, what you are given with planar area or area vector. If planar area is given the theta value, then you have to take the angle between area vector and electric field. In any case, not with the planar area. Here this theta is the angle between electric field and this area vector, not with the planar area. Next is Gauss's theorem or Gauss's law. You know the statement, the total electric flux of given electric field through any closed surface S in free space or vacuum is 1 by epsilon naught times the total charge Q enclosed by the surface. This is the surface shown here as electric field is seen that is coming out through the surface due to charge Q. So as per this statement, mathematical form is phi the flux coming out through the surface is 1 by epsilon naught times the charge enclosed Q. Here epsilon naught permittivity of free space or vacuum. Let us try to see some important points related with Gauss's law. You know the flux in terms of electric field can be written as E dot ds is equal to 1. Then here if we are going to use the flux equation, integral E dot ds, then after merging these two we are getting this one. There are a number of assumptions. Important points related with this is first, if no charge is enclosed, Q is equal to 0. So what you are getting? The flux equal to 0. It is this formula law is true for all shapes and size of the given enclosed surface. So irrespective of shape or size, this is true. It is depending on the flux is depending on charge only, not on shape and size of the surface enclosing the charge. If in radius r and 2 are the same charge enclosed, this is of radius r and this one is radius 2r, the flux through the first surface and second surface remain same. Region, the same charge enclosed. Point number 3, here this charge is the charge enclosed by the surface. Suppose here Q1 and Q2 are the charge enclosed and Q3 is outside. Then here this Q is sum of these two charges only, not Q3. So here Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2. In the same way, the electric field in the same case is due to all the three, but electric field is due to Q1, Q2 and Q3. On the left hand side of the expression, this field is due to all the three charge, but total this Q is only the enclosed charge, what we have to take care. While choosing the Gaussian surface to enclosed charge, we have to take care that discrete charge must not lie on the surface of the Gaussian enclosed volume. It must not be over there. And second, if a continuous charge is lying like this, half inside, half outside, then the field is due to whole continuous charge, but charge what we are taking is only the enclosed volume that is inside this Gaussian shape. Next point related with this is, if Coulomb's law variation, that is inverse square law, is going to change, then will the Gaussian law be affected? Of course, it is going to be affected. because these two are interdependent law. So violation of inverse square law in Gauss coulombs is also going to affect this law. Next, if you are going to find out the flux through 1 coulomb of charge, then you can easily find Q equal Q by epsilon naught. At the place of Q, you just put 1, and that is these many field lines are coming out through 1 coulomb of charge. And that can be calculated. Simply multiply by 4 pi. So 4 pi divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. This is 4 pi into 9 into 10 to the power 9. These many lines are coming out through the enclosed surface. Now the equation of flux. The electric field in the region is given by this much. This E is given. With E naught value, find the flux or the field through a rectangular surface of area 2.2 meters square parallel to YZ plane. Anywhere, this is YZ plane. Parallel to this, anywhere, suppose here. This plane is having direction along x-axis. So this is area vector is equal to A, I cap. A is 0.2 meter square and E is given, that E is equal to 3 by 5 E naught I, 4 by 5 E naught J cap. Flux phi equal to E dot A. If you take the dot product of electric field and area vector, these two, what we have, I dot I is going to give the result, but I dot J there is not. So that is what I dot I gives, I dot J 0. So I dot I result is going to give us 0.2 into 3 by 5 E naught. I dot I is 1, so we have this much. So this is 3 to just 6 divided by, or this is 1 by 5, 3 by 25 E naught. E naught value is given, that E naught is 2 into 10 to the power 3. So 3 by 25 into 2 into 10 to the power 3. 6 by 25 into 10 to the power 3. Multiply numerator denominator by 4. This is 100 into 10 to the power 3. So this gives 240 Newton meter square per coulomb. So this is the answer for this particular question. Here figure below shows a closed surface which intersects a conducting sphere. This is conducting sphere. Here this closed surface intersects it. If a positive charge is placed at the point P, positive charge is placed over there, the flux of the electric field through the closed surface, what is the flux through this closed surface? If this here the plus Q charge is placed, is quite obvious by induction minus Q will be plus Q. So it's quite obvious this is diametrically opposite. So you can say this encloses positive charge, so flux, you know, phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught. If this Q is positive, flux is positive. So result will become 0? No. Will become positive? Yes. Will become negative? No. Will become undefined? No. So only one option, B, is correct. Gauss's law. Let us assume at this place the electric field is E. The surface area is, say, delta S or ds. Then the enclosed volume is the conical volume, what we see here. The flux coming out of this we have to find out. We know flux is integral E dot ds. For whole surface, a surface area S, we are going to do it. The closed volume this, we are going to enclose it. We know at a distance r, due to charge q, the electric field is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q by r square, r unit vector dot ds. Here 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught constant, q constant. For all points of the sphere at which out of the center q is placed, r value is fixed, so that we can take out. So integral, or you can write like this, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square integral r ds. You know this is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. This r and ds both are in same direction, so this is mod of r1 mod of ds into cos 0 degree for whole surface. And this cos 0 is 1, so this is going to give us 1 into ds into cos 0. So 1 into ds into 1, that is only ds. ds is this area, and integration ds, the whole, for whole sphere, that is 4 pi r square. So if you prove it, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square into 4 pi r square. So these 4 pi r square cancel out. So this is q by epsilon naught. So it is proved. So Gauss's law is proved. Now using Gauss's law, you may be given to find out the Coulomb's law. So let us try to see the Coulomb's law. We know that E dot ds is 1 by epsilon naught times q. This is Coulomb's law we are going to find out or determine using Gauss's law. So from here, if we are going to see, due to a charge q, say the electric field at this point is E. So at all points on this sphere, electric field magnitude remains constant. So if you are taking this, it gives us E into ds into cos 0 degree. At all the point, area vector and ds must be in same direction. So cos 0 degree equal to 1 by epsilon naught times charge enclosed q. So if you take E outside, E integral ds is equal to q by epsilon naught. From here, integral ds is 4 pi r square. So E into 4 pi r square is equal to q by epsilon naught. And from here, E is equal to 1 by 4 pi r square into q by epsilon naught. So electric field at that point is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. Now we have determined electric field at this point due to this charge. If we are placing any charge, say capital Q here, so what is the force acting on it due to this charge? So we know that force on any charge Q is equal to the magnitude of charge into electric field. Electric field is this much. So if you are multiplying it, this is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q by r square. So finally it is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q into q divided by r square. So this is force on charge q. So first we have proved Gauss's law, and next Coulomb's law using Gauss's law we have shown. So you may be given to show, then you can show in this way. Now the question what I had given an assignment, and this was from 2013. Two charges of magnitude minus 2q and q. This is the minus 2q is a charge, are located at points a0 and minus or 4a0 respectively. So this is the suppose axis xy. So first charge minus 2q is at a and 0. X is a and y is 0. Here minus 2q is located. And second charge is 4a0, that is q. So second is at 4a, 1, 2, 3, 4. Second charge is at this 4a, comma 0. This is q. You have to find out what is the electric flux due to these charges through a sphere of radius 3a. Radius 3a. 3a is somewhere here. This is the length 3a. So this is 3a. So if you are going to find out, draw the sphere of radius 3a, then it is somewhat like this. So here also this is 0, 3a, y coordinate. This one is on left side. So this is equal to, here what you see, only charge minus 2q is enclosed in this particular sphere. And you know, as per Gauss's law, phi is 1 by epsilon naught times charge enclosed. What is the amount of charge enclosed? Only minus 2q. So 1 by epsilon naught times minus 2q. So this is the answer of this particular question. Here, find the flux of electric field passing through the curved surface of the hemisphere. In first case, E is perpendicular to the base. If E is perpendicular to the base, then it is somewhat like this. It is the case. So what you see here, there is no such charge enclosed in it. The field, this is surface number 1, flat surface, this is surface number 2, curved surface. We know that total flux is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times charge enclosed. There is no such charge enclosed to 0. So phi due to 1 plus phi, or you can say this is flat surface and this is curved surface, C. So phi due to flat surface or phi due to curved surface is this. Now in this case, to flat surface, the area vector is outward normal, downward, and field is upward. So for flat surface, E dot dA or E dot A is equal to E into A into cos 180 degree, that is minus EA. And if R is the radius, area is pi r square, so minus E into pi r square. This is for 5 flat surface. Flat surface means this one. Now what about this one? We have 5 flat plus pi curved 0. So from here, 5 curved equal to minus 5 flat. And that is what we have, minus of minus E into pi r square. So what we have, 5 curved equal to E into pi r square. So that is what we have, pi r square into E. Case 2. Here this E is radially outward. It means it is somewhat like this. You have. In this case, radially outward means it is along the radius. So electric field is radially outward and radius vector is also along the same line. So it's quite obvious area vector and electric field always along the same line at each and every point. We are considering as any small area, say dA. So what is the flux through this? d phi is equal to curved surface. I am writing curved surface. So this phi equal to E dot dA. These two are in the same direction, so E into dA into cos 0 degree. That is simply E into dA. What is total flux to curved surface? That integration of d phi for whole curved surface. You have E into dA integration for curved surface. As at this particular point, from this particular point, fields are coming out. So it's quite obvious. At each and every point, the field, electric field will always be constant. So we are taking it out. E integration dA for curved surface. What is the curved surface area of any hemisphere? That is 2 pi r square. So this is E into 2 pi r square. This is for curved surface. Now in this case, if Q charge is, it is due to say charge Q, though answer is this, due to curved surface, then if this is the flux, what we are getting, and if it is due to a charge Q say placed somewhere here, in that case the phi value is equal to the electric field. This electric field is at this point, say at a distance r, the radius of this. So this equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into, say, Q, due to Q charge it is there, divided by r square, if capital R is there, into 2 pi r square. So r square cancelled out, 2 pi 2 4. So this is half times Q by epsilon naught. In case figure 3, E is parallel to the base. So what we have, if E is parallel to the base, in that case, if you are taking area, this is the area vector and this is flat surface, and electric field is perpendicular to it. This is the direction of electric field. Here this is 90 degree. So phi flat in third case is equal to E dot A. It means E into A into cos 90 degree. Cos 90 is 0, so flux through flat surface is 0. There is no such flux. So what is the, it's quite obvious, we know there is no such charge enclosed in it. Then we can say phi flat plus phi curved equals 0. So phi curved is having same magnitude as phi f, and it's quite obvious these two are 0 as far as net flux is concerned. But if it is given, what is the flux falling on this or flux coming out of this? Then in that case, what you do, you just make this sphere somewhat like this. And here, this is the zone through which the flux is coming out. And if you complete the whole sphere, how it looks like? It is somewhat like this. So it is half of the diametrical plane, or this is the plane passing through diameter. So what you can say, total flux is nothing but passing through this. In that case, total flux through this, what is falling on it, or what is coming out of it. If it is said so, so phi fall or phi coming out, if you are going to take it, then total flux, say E is the electric field, and area of any half of the circle whose radius is r, so this is pi r square divided by 2. But as far as net flux is concerned, that is 0. But through this, what is the amount of flux is there falling on it or coming out? In that case, this pi r square divided by 2 into E. Application of Gauss's law. The first, electric field due to infinitely long uniformly charged thin wire. This is taken. Suppose its linear charge density lambda is given to you. Lambda is linear charge density. We had done it already. At certain distance, say small r, we have to find out the electric field. Say at point P. This is the point P. So we know at this point the field is radially or away or perpendicular to this. Around this, the net field is. How we had already seen. If we are going to prove this, then we can see, suppose we are taking a section of this wire, say r distance in upward direction, or say y distance in upward direction. The electric field due to this in this direction. At the same distance, if you see in downward direction, say y, what we see here, the electric field due to this in this direction. These two having their x component in this direction and y component here and here. These two are equal in magnitude, opposite directions cancelled out. So we are left with only the x component of the electric field vectors, and that is along this. So the same thing is true for all such elements on both the halves of this particular wire. So here, what we do, we have to find out electric field. We are going to form a Gaussian cylinder at the surface of which this point P will lie over there. So we are going to form a Gaussian cylinder enclosing this wire such that the wire is at the axis of the cylinder, and this cylinder is having radius r and length L. So we have to find out the charge enclosed in this Gaussian, so assumed cylinder, and that charge value will be placed here, and the electric field at all the flux due to electric field at all the surface we have to find out. Then we have to equate. So first, charge enclosed. What is Q enclosed? That Q enclosed is here lambda is linear charge density, so that is equal to lambda into L. So this is equation number 3. So from 3 in 1 we have phi equal to lambda L by epsilon naught 4. Now from 4 to what we do? We have to find out electric field. Here the electric field in this direction, at this place electric field in this direction, at this place this cap electric field in this direction. On this side, left side is this direction. Area vector here perpendicular, here area vector in this direction, here area vector in this direction. So flux due to this 90 degrees, so flux is E into A into cos 90. Cos 90 is 0, so no flux. Phi due to this is not available. Here also 90 degrees, so phi due to this is not available. Only due to this phi equal to, so phi due to upper cap plus phi due to curved surface, phi due to lower cap. These two are not available. We know why so. This is because this one is due to 90 degrees, it is out of this. So phi is curved. Phi curved is integral E ds cos theta. So E into ds. What is the curved surface area? That ds is 2 pi r into L. Cos theta, cos 0 degree, cos 0 degree 1. Equate this particular value phi from 4 and 5. We have E into 2 pi RL equal to lambda L by epsilon naught. So from here L cancelled out. So E is equal to lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught R. Here E proportional to lambda and E proportional to 1 by R. This is draw electric field versus distance, say R. The graph is somewhat like this, as in this half, for lambda negative in this half. So this is for lambda is equal to minus. Next is electric field due to uniformly charged thin sheet. This is infinitely extended on each side. You have to know or given, you may be given sigma surface charge density, that is charge per unit surface area. So first of all, let us assume at distance, say perpendicular distance, say r, we would like to find out the electric field. This is the observational point. You can say this point P is very near to the, say, the surface. In the same way, the field is always perpendicular, just like the linearly charged wire. Here also the field is always perpendicular to the surface. So at this point, say r distance, we would like to find out the electric field. The electric field will be this direction, say this is E. We would like to draw a Gaussian surface in the form of pillbox or a small cylinder, such that this point should come on the surface of this particular cylinder, and the cylinder is somewhat like this. This cylinder is half on this side, half on back side. So on this, the zone of this particular thin sheet is enclosed here. This is the place where this cylinder is crossing the surface. So what is the charge enclosed here? So charge enclosed, that sigma is equal to charge per unit area. If this area is, say, A, then sigma equal to Q by A. So Q enclosed equal to sigma into A into this, where this is the area A. So here charge enclosed by this, so assumed volume is here only, and that is sigma into A. So this gives us 1 by epsilon naught sigma into A. So first equation determined. Now we are going to find out electric field. This electric field here in this direction. For this flat cap, area is in this direction. For curved surface, suppose on this side or on this side, that doesn't matter. Area vector is always normal, and electric field on this side is rightward, on this side leftward. So in both the cases, what we see, electric field and area vector are normal to each other. So in this case, what we are having, due to this there is no such flux due to curved part. But on here, this flat surface, on this side, electric field is leftward, and area vector is also outward normal, so that is also leftward. Area is A, so we are taking A. On this side you can take dA, but due to these two, the curved part, flux is not going to be seen. So this is flux phi is phi due to right side cap, right cap, plus phi due to left cap, plus phi due to curved surface. Curved surface is not going to be taken, region, you know, phi E dA cos theta cos 90 is 0, so result 0. Due to this is in E into A into cos 0 due to the rightmost part. Here also both are left, so E into A into cos 0, so that is also left curve E into A into cos 0. So this is going to give you 2EA. This is the Gauss's law which we are giving, that is due to flux. What we get from these two, equation 1 and 2, if we equate 1 and 2, then we have 2EA is equal to sigma A by epsilon naught. So from here, what we have, E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. That is what we have. If you draw the graph of electric field versus distance, say from the surface, and that is going to be constant. So it is this. For thick sheet, charges are seen on both the faces. So if you are going to see from one side only, so that same pillbox, half is inside, half is outside. Of same length you can consider both sides. So here also, this is sigma into A, the charge enclosed. On this, electric field and area vector in the same direction. Here on curved surface, area vector in this direction, electric field in this direction. And inside the sheet, the electric field is 0. In this way also, actually in earlier case, we had taken both the sheets. That can also be a part of both the sides we had taken. This can also be one type. Here E and A are at 90 degrees, so there is no such flux due to this. Only section is this E, this one. So this area is A. So here the charge enclosed is sigma into A. So 1 by epsilon naught times sigma into A. That's the equation 1. And the electric field, due to this electric field, the flux is written as only E into A into cos 0 degree, equation 2. Why only this? Because next half, that is inside the middle, the electric field is 0. So this is equal to E into A. That is what equation 2. 1 and 2 equating the flux, we have E into A is equal to sigma into A by epsilon naught. A cancelled out, so E is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. So for thick sheet, it is this. You're just seeing thin sheet, E thin, that is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught for thin sheet. Now we would like to see the graph for electric field versus distance. What we see is for thin as well as thick, electric field is not a function of distance. So for thin sheet, sigma by 2 epsilon naught, and if it is negative, minus sigma by 2 epsilon naught. And if this is going to be for thick sheet, it is just double of this, the thin sheet. So for double of this means it is somewhere here. This is sigma by epsilon naught for thick, and this is also here minus. If this is this is minus sigma by epsilon naught. Here also we are going to take this case. This is the case of thick sheet. So for thick sheet, it is just double. When sigma negative, then we are going to see this. When sigma positive, we are going to see this one for electric field versus distance graph. Next, the electric field due to uniformly charged thin spherical cell. In all the cases, what you see, we had been using Gauss's law, phi equal to 1 by epsilon naught times charge q, and flux phi equal to integral E dot dA. This is shortcut way to find it out. So let us assume first at outside point. At outside point, you are going to find out the electric field. Let us assume this is the outside point PO. At a distance, say small r. Here r is greater than capital R. Now you just take one Gaussian sphere surrounding this. At this point dA, say area vector dA, you are taking the electric field EO. So for this, what you see, this Gaussian surface enclosing the whole charge Q. So what is the charge Q here? Charge Q is equal to sigma into 4 pi r square. From there, that is written sigma surface charge only charge per unit surface area. So from this, what you get, Q is equal to sigma into 4 pi r square. So phi is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times sigma into 4 pi r square. Equation 1. How you are getting flux? Flux phi equal to, at this point, integral E naught dot dA, if E naught is the electric field. So total flux is integration of the whole. So total flux is integration whole E into dA into cos 0 degree. At all such points or such area on the surface, electric field will always be same. So what we do, we can take E outside, integral dA, cos 0 is 1. So integral dA whole surface area is 4 pi r square. So E into 4 pi r square, equation 2. Compare these two of flux. What you shall have? You shall have E into 4 pi r square is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times sigma into 4 pi r square. So 4 pi cancelled out. So E you have is sigma by epsilon naught into capital R square by small r square. One is this. If you are going to put the value of sigma from here, then you can get the same formula outside for electric field outside in different way. E naught is equal to sigma is equal to Q divided by 4 pi capital R square into epsilon naught into r square by small r square. These are r square cancel out. So this gives 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by r square. So is it not just like a charge placed at r distance? So here, if we are finding out the electric field at r distance, it simply means this whole charge is assumed to be concentrated at this center. So this expression simply says so. If we are going to find out the same thing at the surface, surface means somewhere here, say at this point, the electric field say here, just outside, and area vector also in the same direction. So at surface, small r is equal to capital R. This is the point of observation, small r. Surface means r is equal to capital R. So if in either way you can substitute, or either you take and here Gaussian sphere of radius small r equal to capital R, or in this particular expression you put small r equal to capital R. If you are putting here r equal to capital R, then E at surface you are getting sigma by epsilon naught, because these r square, they are cancelled out due to equal value. If you are going to put here, then E at surface is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. This is at the surface. If you are going to find out the electric field inside, suppose the inside point is somewhere here, this is pi. What you are going to do, this is at a distance small r. What you are going to find out? Inside the electric field, that is r less than capital R. How will you find? Here you just make one Gaussian sphere. What is the amount of charge enclosed in this Gaussian sphere? The amount of charge enclosed is 0, because all the charges are outside. So amount of charge enclosed 0. So from this particular formula, what is the flux? Q0, so flux is 0. If flux is 0, then from this formula you are getting integral E dot ds is 0, or E dot dA, if it is dA equals 0. And this gives E into dA into cos theta equal to 0. If you are considering area vector here, suppose at this point you are finding out the electric field, area vector, then area vector cannot be 0. Cos theta will always not be equal to 0. In particular case only it is 0. So it's quite obvious the only possibility is E inside is 0. This is E inside. So there all the three you have determined. Outside this value, surface this value, inside 0. If you are going to draw the graph is somewhat like this: electric field versus distance for positive value. Inside electric field is 0. That is what you are getting up to surface radius r. Just at the surface, it is a surface sigma by epsilon naught. Outside it is going to decrease. So that is the graph for sigma equal to positive. Sigma negative just upside down. That you can draw. Now next question on applications of Gauss's law. The first on line charge. An electron is revolving around a long line charge. Line charge is there. Having charge density, lambda is given 2 into 10 to the power minus 8 coulomb per meter. Find the kinetic energy of the electron, assuming it is independent of radius of the electron's orbit. So first of all, we know at r distance electron is going to be there, r. About this it is going to revolve. It's quite obvious this has positive charge we are assuming. So here the electric field at r distance, we know it is lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught r, or you can say 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2 lambda by r. That is what we have. And in this case, if we are going to find out the force on this electron, that is centripetal force, that centripetal force is provided by this particular thing, electric field. In this case, electric field is away in this direction, but electron is negative. That is why it is directed towards the line charge. So FCP is equal to Q into E. So that Q is E. Of course, minus you can put it for going towards left. This E is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2 lambda divided by R. This is force. And this centripetal force is if m is the mass, v is the velocity of the electron, and m is the mass, then mv square by r is equal to E into 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2 lambda divided by r. This r and r cancelled out. So from here, v square is equal to here 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2 lambda into E divided by m. This is v square. Now the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy half mv square. So this is half m. V square is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2 lambda E divided by m. M cancelled out, this 2 cancelled out. So this is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into lambda into E. That is the kinetic energy. And if you substitute the values, here K is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 9 10 to the power 9. Lambda you are given 2 into 10 to the power minus 8. And E you have 1.6 charge on electron minus 19 coulomb. So this is quite obvious in Joule. So if you multiply it, 9, this 9 goes minus 10 minus 18, 10 to the power minus 18, and this is 16 into 32, 3.2, 3.2 into 9. So 28.8 in 10 to the power minus 2.88 into 10 to the power minus 7 Joule. This is what the answer of this question. Here we are missing one thing. This is 219, here minus 10 minus 18. So it's quite obvious this is minus 17. So this is the answer. A large plane sheet of charge having surface charge density 5 into 10 to the power minus 6 coulomb per meter square lies in xy plane, that is shown there. Find the electric flux through a circular area of radius 0.1 meter. So it's due to this the electric field is in this direction, that is along z axis. So E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught k cap. And you have to find flux through circular area of radius 0.1 meter. If normal to the circular area makes 60 degree with z axis, this is z axis. So suppose the flux, this is the circular area somewhere, either here or here. So this is making an angle 60 degree. This is the area vector, 60 degree. So it's quite obvious flux phi equal to E dot A, and this is equal to E into A into cos 60 degree. E is sigma by 2 epsilon naught. A is pi r square into cos 61 by 2. So this is, if you multiply numerator and denominator by pi, it becomes this into pi. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into sigma, pi r square is the area, sigma into A into pi. So what we have, this is 9 into 10 to the power 9, sigma is 5 into 10 to the power minus 6, area, that is pi r square, and that area you can find out, pi into r is 0.1 square. So this is 0.01 pi into pi one more, 0.01 pi. So this gives us around 0.45 into 10 to the power 4 into pi square. So 9 10 to the power minus, this should be 10 to the power 3. Pi square around 9.87. If you multiply it with 0.4, around it is 4.44 what you are going to get into 10 to the power 3 SI unit. So this is SI unit Newton meter square per coulomb. Here you take cos 60 or cos minus 60, that does not matter because cos minus theta is cos theta, so result remains same.